Hey guys, I hope you're doing so well, and by the time you see this video it should be the weekend, and I hope you guys have a beautiful, crafty, and artful journaling weekend. I am Jenny May June, and I create art for your journals and crafting and Happy Mail. And today I'm going to show you an idea for using up Patreon collage sheets if you have a huge supply building up. So I needed to send these postcards to my Postcard Pals tier on Patreon, and I wanted to make their envelopes more decorative this time around. So I decided I'm going to try to pull out my smallest little pieces of art that I've created in the last year, and as well as my newest collection here that I'm kind of going through. And I'm going to try to decorate the envelopes and make some mail art. So I'm just pointing to some small pieces that may be able to fit on the envelopes. And for this video, I just used all of my art because I kind of ran short of time to show you the other Patreon accounts that I follow. But I do know that Susie's Tiny Desk, she comes out with a mini size collection of her art. So it's like really small. So you could decorate like smaller envelopes with it. You can use her tiny pieces in like little tiny planners that you might have. So anyway, I'm just showing you some of my art, and I just showed you that I had cut up a piece of that page that had my days on, my numbers on them for this month. And I love these, and I'm getting so many compliments on them. I found a antique, well, I don't know if it's antique, it's from like 1948, but it's like a book about the history of magic. And I found these really pretty like stamped illustrations of hands in a palm reading section. And I scanned those and pulled them into Procreate and did some gouache coloring on them and added numbers to them. So I like to do that, to do some like mixed media in my collections in addition to illustration. So yeah, I'm excited about those. So beginning with decorating the envelopes, I'm just starting with these really inexpensive kids paint sticks. I got these at Michael's, and they are Creatology brand, and I really love them. I know that there are other brands a lot of places. There's some at Walmart. They have a new art collection out. I can't remember what it's called, Hobby Hands or something like that. But I know that there's like Sargent's. That's just such a weird name for art supplies. I'm sorry. But Sargent's paint sticks, I know they have those at Walmart. I haven't tried those out. But these, I've had paint sticks before. I don't remember them being this nice. And you can smudge them when they're wet, but they dry really quick and they are smooth. They do not smear on anything. They're just completely dry. So I really love these. The hard thing is you can't really write over them because, you know, they're kind of waxy, I guess. So that's like the only downside to it. You might be able to do like a permanent marker over it, or maybe paint over it with some acrylic or gouache or something like that. But I just love how, especially this color, the neon green and this bright yellow looks on this craft paper envelope. I love it. So these are really huge envelopes. They're not like 4x6, but they're like 5x8 or something, like the next size up. And I got these in a huge box on Amazon, and they're like maybe 100 envelopes. I can't remember, 100 to 200, I'm not really sure. And they're like anywhere between 12 and 15 bucks. The back of them, like the sticky adhesive part, it's like peel and stick. I don't think that's as good. So you might need to make sure to reinforce it by adding like some tape to the back to make sure that they're closed. That's just if you needed like a recommendation for envelopes, but I needed to have these for like my Patreon mail from last year. Yeah, so I have some left over, and I'm just making different kind of mixed media backgrounds. So, yeah, so I do have a postcard tier, and I wanted this first postcard is coming in a little late because I wanted to gather everybody that wanted to have the postcards for February, and they're going out this week. And so if you sign up in a month, like this month, you'll get the postcard at the beginning of the following month, just because it's really hard for me to create cutoff dates. It's just like an added task that always falls through the cracks, and I tend to forget about it. So, yeah, if you sign up for it, it'll come like the following week. And for these first postcards, I tried out like a matte texture on both sides so that you could write on the back. Next time, I'm just going to send out the postcards like through the mail, but I'm going to have like a writing section on half of it. So that way you'll get like a cute stamp on it with your address, and you'll have like a section for actually writing, so it can be like utilitarian. And then on the front you'll have a nice print, and I'm going to make sure to gloss it because I just think that the colors pop so much more. So here I'm using Caran d'Ache wax pastels, and these are my favorite art supply of all time. They are very chalky and creamy and buttery. I mean, I don't know if you can have the chalky. I'm talking about like the vibrancy of the texture, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense, but they're very kind of creamy and buttery, and they, if you get the ones that are not water soluble, they don't smudge that much in my opinion. And they are just so bright, and they can layer over anything. So you see I'm layering over these paint sticks with it just fine, and they last so long. I don't do any like, pure paintings or illustrations with them. I just use them for mark making, and they have just lasted so long. I absolutely love them. And then a really kind patron last year sent me a set of water soluble ones. That was just so sweet. I do like those as well. It just depends on what you want to do with them. So with the water soluble Caran d'Ache, they're kind of sticky when you color with them. But you can then water them down a little bit and kind of drag the color out while maintaining that initial mark that you made. I love that. I love that style. Or you can, add a ton of water and really mix up, the mark that you made to kind of dilute it in a way. It just depends on what you want to do. So, yeah, so depending on what I want to do, I'll use either or. These dry ones, I've had them since 2020. They've lasted so long, and I'm heavy-handed, so they break pretty easily, but it doesn't matter. They break in maybe like in half or 3 pieces, and you're able to use them. And I've actually sharpened them before with a nice Statler pencil sharpener, but now the Statler sharpener is like not working anymore. I don't know if they get dull. You guys let me know how to fix that problem. I'm not able to sharpen colored pencils anymore. Yeah, so just making imperfect marks, and you just have to try not to be perfect. You can hold the crayon or marker or pencil kind of perpendicular to the piece you're working on to get a really wonky line, or you can try using your left hand to draw, and that will give you a really like organic, abstract looking kind of mark. These are like splotches. I always do. It's like just I always make the same splotchy mark over and over again. I've tried to come up with different mark making. I have a video on like how to have a mark making journal. You can scroll back to find that. But yeah, this was a new little mark I did. I'm like, oh, I have to stop doing these like splotches. So I tried, to vary what I was doing, but yeah, these things start, you have to notice also what you gravitate towards and what you always do, because that defines your style and what you are. It's like your signature thing. So don't feel bad if you are kind of making the same mark, or if you're drawing things in a particular way the same every time. That's just your style, and as you learn new things, you can incorporate them into what you do. So this is what I have as far as my decorated envelopes. This is like the base that I'm going to be working with. That upper left envelope, I hated it. It was the first one I collaged on, and I was like, ugh, I didn't like it at all. So you're not going to see that one. But when you start a project like that, it's always seems to be like that your first one is kind of black, you know? But you can consider that the warm-up stage. What you initially do always kind of sucks, you know? But once you've got that one out of the way, then you can look at it, evaluate it, and in your mind clarify what it is you want to do on the next one. So by the time I got to this point, I was like, yeah, I'd rather just do fewer pieces and actually have them match together. Because, you know, I like to mismatch stuff and make it maximalist and everything, but it just wasn't working on the envelope with fussy cuts of the same paper. It was just looking weird. Like, I don't know how to explain it. So I just went ahead with some things that like go together. So the octopus and the fish and those flowers, I made that last summer. And so if you're a member of my Patreon, you can go back. I've added art for like a year now. I did take a break during November and December and January, but I do have tons of art. And so I made that sea theme with alien, scuba diver, was in love with a boat captain, so I have an image of that, and then, you know, the alien octopus. So that's really cute. So you can see how the art has changed over time. And I also have in a different collection boarding passes like the one I'm holding there. And there's bus tickets, train tickets. So that's kind of what I'm mixing up. This caterpillar is from February, and I had him eating a plant-based cupcake. But I actually cut that off because it was just kind of odd how it looked, because there was a lot of white, you know, in between it. So yeah, I just mixed him with some leaves I made last summer and a boarding pass and the bus ticket kind of thing. So yeah, I'm just adding some paint marker over it. That didn't work out very well. I think my markers are they're very watery right now. I think they're drying up. So yeah, if you have a nice paint marker, that's nice. That might be something you could add on the top as like a little sprinkle of a decoration. So yeah, I'm just moving on to my next one, and I forgot to use some of my new art, so I'm going through there and finding some tiny pieces. And yeah, and then I'm going on to the next one here. That piece of peanut butter slice, I have another one that has the jelly on the other side. That is also from February, the month of February. And those are also have faces on them, and they're a couple, and they're riding on a skateboard. And it's kind of like a nod to Valentine's Day holiday. But I also made it into a journaling card. I thought it was so cool. I'm just addicted to peanut butter bread and stuff like that. Yeah, so don't be afraid to like cut down the art to fit your needs. I cut down one of the flowers so that I could fit her better on the mail. She's a little plant that says take care of yourself. Yeah, and I actually added a piece of junk mail. I thought that was kind of funny, you know? Like, you're usually getting junk mail, but like I'm like using it, and it's like something positive now because the recipient is going to get some happy mail. I thought that was kind of funny, and that it's like on the outside of the mail. So I'm just adding a little more of this Caran d'Ache stick. And I'm not sure if there's anything else much to say about this part of it. As you can see, I'm starting like a collection all over my desk of pieces that I ended up not using. But it's nice that my hoarded supply is going down more of my art, and then I'm actually using it. And I think this is a really cool way to share art with other people and your friends, because not everybody has access to art. And I don't know if it's time or if it's money. I know for myself that it's very unaffordable to purchase like nice prints from artists that I admire, and I would love to, and I would love to frame them. But it's just not doable like right now. Like maybe I could try to set like a goal of getting like a nice print like once a quarter or something. I could start like a savings for it. But doing the Patreon memberships, I just think that is so generous. The people that do offer this, I know there's a lot of nice artists that don't really do journaling very much, but they are artists and they sell their prints and they can sell stickers, and maybe they publish children's books or do editorial type illustrations. But the people that do make collage sheets like this, it is a lot of hard work. I know from personal experience. So I don't know if you're like a follower of like Pocket Journal Pam, or Susie's Tiny Desk. I just want you to know that it is a lot of work to pump out fresh new ideas every month so that people can have them, in your journal. And it really is art. Like, it's, in my opinion, fine art, I guess. I don't know. I hesitate calling my stuff fine art, but like to just have like a fresh raw idea and have the artist translate it on paper and be able to have it for a low fee every month. I mean, it is such a value, and I really treasure that opportunity because it's just not affordable for a lot of us to buy people's arts in print form. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. And I want to thank you for all the other artists that provide this kind of service. So this is the art that I came up with, or the envelope art. And I've left space to put in addresses. And yeah, I'm just going to write the return address on the back for myself. And my cat made an appearance. I just love her little tail. That's Pepper. She's so cute. She's got her tail. I love when she's moving her tail across the desk. It's so funny. But my last step is to use Dollar Tree stickers, star stickers. It's just like I talk about them all the time. I love it. It just gives a nice finishing touch. And I plan on using shipping tape to tape everything down to make sure that it's secure. So I hope you guys enjoyed this really short process video. I would love to hear your feedback on what we did today. Is this something that you could see yourself doing? Do you decorate mail art? Do you have pen pals? I would love to read about it in the comments below. And as always, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I really am thankful for your support. If you would like to stay in touch, I would love for you to subscribe and like the video so that more people can see it. I know that you're creative. I just hope that you can find time to do something, and I want you to believe in yourself. Love you guys. Until next time.